The zoo is a dive site immediately adjacent to the famous Great White Wall, which you can actually see right here. Both dive sites are located in Somosomo Strait, between the island of Taveuni and the island of Vanua Levu in the Fiji Islands. The zoo dive starts shallow, around 8 meters. The shallowness allows divers the opportunity to safely adjust their buoyancy before venturing over the cliff into infinity. The dive site is named the zoo because there is usually a large collection of animals to see, like manta rays, gray reef sharks, white-tip sharks, and barracuda. As a diver, the royal blue of the wall is deceptively alluring. One must constantly check one's depth gauge to make sure the barracuda you're following isn't leading you into oblivion. After playing along the wall, an ascent is made to 20 meters or 60 feet. The remainder of the dive after this is spent slowly climbing to 5 meters. The zoo, along with its neighbor, the Great White Wall, is often publicized as the best diving in Fiji. This opinion is perhaps overinflated. Granted, the reefs here are beautiful, and the walls and the current here produce great adrenaline surges. But as you can see from the video, there is not a lot of color. Instead, there is coral rubble, sand flats, the occasional white-tip reef shark, but not much else. Coral reefs are not static environments, and one should not expect that this reef, or any other greatly publicized reef for that matter, should always remain the same. Despite heavy fishing and cyclonic storms, this reef manages to thrive and adapt, pleasing divers from all the corners of the world. For truly, there is always something interesting or wonderful to see. There is a tendency amongst divers, and the dive masters that lead them, to go deep and stay deep. This is a tendency not only practiced in Fiji, but also a tendency practiced around the world. At the zoo, I encourage you, after you've dived the wall, to resist this tendency. Go shallow. Yeah, it's cool to say when you get back on the boat that you stayed deep through the entire dive, but how cool is it to go all the way to Fiji and miss all the life that's only found in the first 12 meters of water? All the beautiful corals and colorful reef fish at this site are shallow. Only the open water pelagics of the wall warrant depth. Here I am at 6 meters, and as you can see, there is plenty of soft and hard coral to whet any diver's appetite. At this dive site, you will encounter strong currents. Thus, due to the plunging depth at the beginning of the dive and the current that I just mentioned, this dive site is not for beginners or for those who have not dived in many years. I suggest getting comfortable with some other dive sites in Somosomo Strait before venturing here or to the Great White Wall. If you have any questions about the zoo dive site or any other dive site in Somosomo Strait or around Taveuni, please go to fijiguide.com. There, divers, residents, and past tourists will be more than happy to answer any question you may have. My name is Scott Putnam, and I am a travel reporter for fijiguide.com. Diving was provided by the excellent dive operator, Taveuni Dive, which can be found on the World Wide Web. Accommodations were also provided by the equally excellent Paradise Resort, which can also be found on the World Wide Web.